We are live. It is Wild Wednesday, the first day of spring, hump day. And my guest, sorry for being late. I do apologize. Had to make a quick run to the haberdashery. hmm So we're just waiting for Wyatt. I'm going to, there's his brother. And let's see. I'm going to page him. See what happens here. Paging Wyatt. There he is. And we're going to add connecting. And there's the man. How are you, sir? Good evening.
I'm well. Good evening. How are you?
I'm doing well. The rain just started. Is it raining in Stainer?
Not yet. We're supposed to get it a little later on this evening, so yeah. So it's supposed to be a bit damp for the morning, but that's okay. We didn't get a whole heck of a lot of snow this year, and a lot of it around, at least around here, is already gone.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with some rain between now and the trout opener, man, or either that, or our rivers are going to be some kind of friggin' low when the trout season opens,
Yeah.
right?
The channel through town here is it's not high, but it's up. So
yeah. Oh, it's rolling here too, but not. We had that thaw kind of in the winter, and then we didn't get a whole lot of snow after that, right? Not like up north, they got buried this year, but
oh, I know, and Simcoe too.
we didn't get that.
Yeah, they some of our high school friends, they just like constantly digging out. You see that meme. You see the meme of the little kid on the patio. Stop fucking snowing.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I feel bad. Like I love it up there. I love back home for that reason, for that powder puff winter that we get. But come now, like this time of year, it's like enough.
Yeah. No, it's been good though. We haven't had it too bad, so I'm looking forward to it. So,
so what do you
check it out. We got a lot of people watching and tuning in there.
That's great. I see this.
Donnie, Bonnie, Nick, Yvonne,
Mike. Yeah, how you doing, guys? Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for joining, guys. It's awesome.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. This is going to be Mike Feroy. How are you doing?
I know. Hey, the hometown boys are all.
Yeah, the whole town's watching this one. So for anybody that's just tuning in, Wyatt and I grew up together back home in Elliott Lake, and he was one of the instrumental people in my outdoor pursuit. My beginnings of my outdoor pursuit were very novice, to say the least. I didn't really know what the hell I was doing. I was just pretty much flying by the seat of my pants, watching a little bit of morning television with Angelo and Pete and Reno, and taking it from there. And it was my escape from being bullied as a kid. I don't know why you would want to bully me. I'm pretty cool. But Wyatt, we bumped into each other in West Hill, and I was still pursuing an outdoor lifestyle, I guess you could say. And sure enough, well, shit, so do you, right? Like I say in previous podcasts, you hear the F word on the playground, and you're like, "Did you say fishing?"
Hi, Amanda. Ted.
So, what are you bringing to the table with Tubby Outdoors? Tubby Guy Outdoors.
Yeah, Tubby Guy Outdoors was just kind of I've been thinking about it for a long time. And actually, you gave me a little bit of a nudge there with making me a part of the Be More Outdoors staff. And I thought, you know what, now is a great time to do it. I've been putting it off long enough. My reasons are mainly personal, or mostly personal, however you want to say it. I wanted to try to show people, and get on video some of the cool things that I missed. You know what I mean? when I wasn't doing this. Actually, one of our viewers, Donnie, and I were out turkey hunting one time, and we had a coyote come in on us hard. Like, I mean, like 3 yards, 4 yards. It
Wow.
was tough. And, you know, if you'd had that on a video to watch or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Because you always get those guys, yeah, right, that shit doesn't happen, right?
Well, it does. You and I both know it does.
Oh yeah, for sure, right? So that was kind of one. Not that I care what people think. I know it happened or whatever.
Yeah.
But you know, 10, 20 years down the road, you'd be able to say, "Man, do you remember that time that?" And you go, "Fuck, do I remember it? Let's watch that shit." Right?
Right.
Because you got it, right?
Could you imagine when we went duck hunting that day, if we had GoPros strapped to our heads and you bumped that bird and it dove literally right into our blind?
Mm-hmm.
It was like you planned it, right?
Yeah. So yeah, so there's that aspect of it, and the other aspect of it is I wanted to get it out there because I've heard it so many times talking to different people that you know aren't necessarily into the outdoors right now, that they think it's too expensive to do it.
They do. I get that a lot too. Yeah.
And you know, part of it is, and I kind of went through this on my YouTube channel last night, but I'll just kind of reiterate it, right? You see these hunting shows and fishing shows and outdoor channels, and these guys are all sporting the best of the best of the best, right? Yeah. And that's cool. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that, right?
Nope.
But the point I want to get across is you don't need that stuff to be able to enjoy the outdoors. That's all right. You need is bare bones necessity stuff.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I want to go with it too. I want to make and the other thing I want to make sure is any true sportsman, I don't care if you're harvesting a deer or a duck or a rabbit or a turkey, whatever. We try to utilize as much of that animal as possible.
100%. 100%.
So I want to show some of that. So I want to do some like recipes, some cooking vids. I know that they may not be hugely popular, but I know over the years I've fed hundreds of people wild game, right?
I'm still alive.
Right? And I always get the same thing, like, how did you do that? How did you do that? How did you? Yeah. So I want to do some of that. I also want to do some of the, you know, like I said, just to show people that it's accessible, it's available.
Yeah. The outdoors is accessible.
It doesn't have to break the bank, right?
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's kind of where I want to go with it. You know, I'm just starting out with this part of it. But you know as well as I do, I grew up in the woods and you know, it mostly, there was kind of 3 guys in my life when I was younger that really instilled the outdoors and what it's all about and what it means to be outdoors, and what it can do for you, mentally, physically, the whole bit, right?
Yeah.
And this man right here.
Yep.
My dad, Dave.
Yep.
Well, God, the knowledge he passed down, and you know, I don't have a picture in front of me of my Uncle Orville, but my dad's brother.
Orville. Yeah, Uncle Orville.
Yeah. You know, when Dad couldn't take me out, when Dad couldn't take me out, Uncle Orville did. And then when, you know, if either one of those guys were busy, my cousin Wayne was like, "Hey, what are you doing? Let's go shoot some birds," or whatever, right? Yeah. So there was 3 guys that, you know, from the time I was just starting to walk, you know, that I spent more time in the bush with than I can remember.
Yeah.
And I owe all of my, you know, my hunting and fishing knowledge to those guys, my passion for the outdoors, my love of fishing and hunting. You know, it's because of guys like that, you know, those men in my life that took the time to take a young guy out. And it's just you know, my dad, another, you know, one of the specs up north.
Yeah. Oh my God, I can't wait.
And then, you know, going back to like you and I sort of thing, right? I'm
Well,
a little
I
surprised.
don't want to cut you off, but I'm going to, because what you said was, those people influenced your passion and desire to remain in a lifestyle of the outdoors, and that's where you are in my life. Like, you helped me through the minutia of it.
Yeah.
I never learned. I never fired a rifle in my life until I met you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and
I
you
can
know
really. Well, the thing is,
from
you know what?
that
I
to
believe that you don't necessarily have to believe in faith, but I believe that you cross people's paths sometimes for a reason.
oh
And
yeah, for sure.
I think we crossed paths back then for a reason. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And we just been lucky enough to carry that friendship on, over the years and until
Mhm.
this day. And it's
Well,
not
I think
about,
this is
it's not about talking every day. It's one of those friendships that you build that I don't have to talk to you for 6 months, but if I pick up that phone, we're gonna continue right from
yep,
where we left off, right?
exactly,
And I'm
exactly.
lucky enough in my life to have quite a few friends like that,
Yeah,
and
same
that's
here.
also what keeps me going. Like I'm not sure if Donnie and Bonnie are still watching, but they're people like that as well.
Hmm. Yeah.
Donnie was was I think the first person I actually kind of met in the hunting scene when I moved down south. And
Hmm.
he's a big part of the reason why I still live down here. I hated it down here, man. You got so
Well,
spoiled up
it took
north
me
where
a
you don't
while
have to
too.
worry about, right? Up north, you don't have to worry about fences and it's crown land, man. Go hunt,
Yep,
fish, be more outdoors all the
that's right,
freaking you
right.
want, right? And down here it was
I live
hard
like a
because,
king out there.
yeah, well, and here it's hard because you get in these small towns, and don't get me wrong, I love where I live. It's a great little place.
Yeah,
But when you're new, you're an outsider, man. It's the good old boys club. So
it is.
you go ask permission somewhere and they don't recognize your last name,
Yep,
hit the road, wee man,
yep,
Not all the
yep.
time, I'm not saying, but it took Donnie introduced me to some people and took me out on permissions he had when way back in the day, 20 years
And
ago.
and and I
And so
think that's an
I owe
important.
him a lot too. I have to.
I think that's an important tip for people that are wanting to get in the outdoors is hunting on somebody's property. That is a gift. You
Oh,
don't
dude.
take lightly,
No.
and you respect you respect the landowner's property as if it was your own.
Oh,
And
even better.
if you
Even
if
better
you
than your own.
even better, right? So, but door knocking, hat in hand, sometimes we'll turn over a nice little chunk of land for you to
Absolutely.
harvest a buck.
What have you
But
got
you
to
have
lose?
to work with the farmer. You gotta, you gotta build a relationship.
Absolutely. It's one of those things where when you do secure that permission, to hunt or fish, it doesn't matter what you're doing, utilize somebody else's property. I grew up, my dad told you more than once, leave nothing but footprints in the bush,
Yep,
right?
yep.
I mean, even to the point where if I'm goose hunting somewhere, I even try to find the wads. Never mind pick
Yeah.
up all the empty
Oh
casings,
my
right?
God.
But that's the point,
Oh,
though.
right? Yeah,
Right?
it is. Yeah,
In these areas, it's getting harder and harder to get permission.
yep.
People have had
And
bad experiences or whatever the case may be.
mhm,
And so when you get that permission, you go
guard
the
it.
extra mile, right?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
go the extra
It's
mile.
a gift.
That's what it's about. So,
Yeah,
and then going back to what we first started talking about, the affordability thing.
yeah.
Um,
Outdoors on a
you know,
budget. I've always
outdoors on
believed
a
in that.
budget.
Yeah, I've always
Well,
believed in that.
we never had a lot of money growing up. We never did without. I'm not
No?
trying to, you know,
Yeah,
I have, my parents, man,
yeah.
my dad, God rest his soul, but, my mom to this day, like we did not do, we did not do without. We always had a roof,
No,
food,
that's right.
clothes,
Yeah.
but, we weren't driving Range Rovers either, right?
No, no, no.
So,
We were
so
all just, your average hardworking blue collar family living
yeah,
up north. And
my mentality
eating,
about the outdoors has always been, I'm trying to remember that old saying, basically, necessity is the mother of invention.
yep.
Right. So things like goose hunting, for instance.
Yeah.
I mentioned this on my YouTube video about decoys these days. Like $250 for a half
Yeah.
dozen decoys.
Yeah.
I can't afford that crap.
Nope.
Right. So a bunch of years ago, I started. What do I really need? You know, some silhouettes might be handy. They're easy to
Yep.
pack. A few full bodies and some silhouettes, right?
Yeah,
So what
exactly.
I did was, I don't know how well this is going to show up, but I took a sheet of
Well, that's perfect.
that really
Yep.
thin, you know, whatever, like underlay stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
I marked out a pattern of a goose.
That's perfect, buddy.
And Kim helped me paint it all up, and Kim actually drew because I can fuck up stick men, right?
Stencil. Yeah. I hear you.
Right. Kim helped me draw out the sheep, so I did like a feeder and I did a century.
Yeah.
Right. Took some old coat hangers for the stapled them on.
Yeah.
I made, I don't know, it was probably 10 or 11 silhouettes out of one piece of the ply, right?
Yeah, so out of an 8x10 sheet.
Yeah, or 4x8, whatever, right?
Yeah, and a sheet like that will run you not even $10.
Yeah, something like that, right? So you know, so I wanted decoys, so I made some, right?
Yeah, exactly.
A little bit of paint and a couple hours cutting shapes out, and the wife helping me paint the things up, right?
Yeah.
Another thing was, you know, when I first got into turkey hunting, do you remember those little cover blinds that, you know, they kind of come up about
yeah
sitting on the
just
ground,
so you
halfway
can
up your chest? Yeah. So what I did was, back in the day, nobody's gonna believe this, but back in the day, those stupid things were expensive. They were just starting to come out, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So I couldn't afford that.
No.
That was like $45 or something for this thing that half covers my tubby ass. Come on, right? I'm not gonna drop $45.
We couldn't afford it together.
Well, yeah, right. So what I did was I went to the dollar store, and you know those green bamboo garden stakes?
Yeah.
You get like 30 of the bastards for like $1.50, right? Yeah. And I had some old camo netting, so I made. I sewed the bamboo sticks into it. You stick it in the ground.
Look at that, folks. Yep, done.
Right. I made my own. So.
Yep.
You know, kind of, since we're almost out of the season now, and this wasn't my idea, believe me, but the old ice fishing deal, right?
Yeah. Oh man, yeah.
Stick,
yeah. With
right?
the doorstop. Oh, buddy, man.
You know, Dad was pissed when all the door stoppers went missing, right? But you know, you've got
it works, man.
Yeah,
it works. Huh. The brookies we would pull out with those.
That's some of the stuff that, you know, when I say it doesn't have to be expensive, if you want to try it, you know, sky's the limit. Your own imagination, right?
That's right. It's true. If you want it bad enough, you're going to find a way. Yeah. You know, the most it's going to cost you, honest to goodness, to get out the door into the outdoors is $100.
Sure. You need a fishing license, you know, a cheap rod and reel, some line, and a handful of lures. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you something that my dad told me when I was little, and I know I told you, because I remember one time we were out fishing, and you had this, dude, check out this spinnerbait, check this thing out, it's the latest, greatest, and you're winging this thing for like an hour and a half.
I saw it on In Fisherman.
I threw my line in and was like, boop, fish on. You're like, what the? I'm like, hook and work, baby. So to get started fishing, you need a hook.
Yeah.
Go out in the lawn, pick some worms. You don't even need to buy them, right?
Yep.
A rod and reel. And I started fly fishing a few years ago.
Hey, Rob.
Hey, guys. I started fly fishing a few years ago, and I'll tell you what I bought. Crappy tire, $39.99, rod, reel, and line. All
Perfect.
like one of them
Combo. Yep.
Dude, I've been using it for 4 years for 40 bucks.
Yep.
That's how I got into fly fishing. So that's the point I want to get across. You know, if I could afford an Orvis reel with the, you know what I mean, I'd be on it, but I can't. So for 40 bucks, I'm a fly fisherman.
That's right.
Right?
And you're pulling toads.
It'll handle anything in the little creeks and stuff around here, right?
Yeah.
So you don't need to break the bank to enjoy the outdoors.
Yeah. I find there is branding everywhere we go. Of course there is. Otherwise, you know, we wouldn't know what the hell we were putting into our body from Coke or Pepsi, right? Because they're both brown liquids. And so is root beer for that matter, and Dr. Pepper. But somebody went and branded it all, and okay, well, now I have that choice and I have that choice. And sure, you could go, like you said, to the top shelf of the liquor store and buy the $100 bottle of liquor, or buy the $20 bottle of liquor and get just as smashed.
Yeah, or the $7 triple X, right?
Right, right. And I've always, you know, I've in sales, dealing with customers, I always worked within their budget, and because even in home entertainment, when I was selling TVs and VCRs, you know, it didn't matter what you buy within your budget. If you want to get out there and enjoy the outdoors and hunt and fish and kayak, and just shop within your budget. It doesn't, as long as it works.
Well, that's the thing, right? And you know, Facebook, the marketplace or whatever.
Oh,
you call it,
right.
All the buy and sell groups on Facebook, like the GoPro that I'll be using on for my YouTube channel. I think I got that thing for like 80 bucks. Right? They bought it. It didn't do what they thought it would do. So they were like, here, somebody buy it, right?
Right.
It's an older one, but so what? Like, who cares, right? The rest of my videos for now are going to be done on my phone. Guess what? I already own it.
Right.
Right. And if you're not going to watch something I put out there to try to help you because
it's
I use the cell phone, then don't watch me.
Exactly.
Or if you're not going to watch me because I'm sporting a Crystal Creek $30 fly rod instead of an Orvis whatever.
But you know what? On the other side of the planet, here we are in the Western Hemisphere, right? You go to the other side of the planet, and they look at that like it's $1 million. You know what I'm saying? Like what we fish with our bargain brand stuff, and I'm not talking about dollar store stuff. Mind you, you do come across some weird tackle sometimes that are actually good tackle in the dollar store, but you know, Canadian Tire or whatever, our merchandise of fishing, our bargain stuff is like gold to them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you
what
know,
do we got here? We got some comments here.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw a few scrolling through, and one there was Kim.
Kim's moderating for us.
She carries like 3 lures. She carries a blue and silver little Cleo, a Daredevil, red and white Daredevil, and a Mep spinner, I think, and outfishes me pretty much every time we go fishing. Right.
Right.
You can carry 14 tackle boxes and it won't make a difference. Right.
No,
it's all about where to cast to, if the fish are even hitting.
Yep.
Right. And use the old tried and true stuff.
Yeah.
You know, it reminds me of a story a buddy of mine told me that, you know, there was a couple of anglers coming up the river and they were like, you know, blah, blah, blah. We just hit this whole run. And he was like, yeah, that's cool. And, you know, they're in the $500, you know, chest waders with the fancy vests and all the best of the best of the best, right? He's in rubber boots, pair of blue jeans, he's got a 6.5 foot like Berkeley cherry wood from 1622, right?
Yeah.
With like a Mitchell 300A, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, "What do you got for bait?" He's like, "Well, I've got a float and some worms or whatever." And they're like, "Oh no, you need this and you need that, and you got to have rope bags." And he looked at them, and as he was casting into the run that they had just fished with all their fancy equipment, with a basically like a one step above the red and white bobbers, right? And
A fill float.
Yeah, a couple of pinch on weights and a single, a number 6 hook with a dew worm on it. He goes, "Buddy, I've never met a trout that can turn down a dew worm." And the second drift through that pool that they had spent 45 minutes in, boom, 5-pound rainbow, right? And they're like, and they just left down the river, right? Like,
yeah.
So that, I'm not making fun of either one of those groups of people.
No.
But it just reiterates that you don't need it. You could be fishing. The gear you need to go fishing, you could keep it under $60. And then what is it, like $30 now for the 27 and change or something for a license? Maybe it's a little more now. I can't remember. I buy them on 3 years at a time. So that
I do.
The government ups the price, I'm paid for 3 years.
Well, yeah. Unfortunately, we're going to see a whole lot of increase in tax fees and stuff like that, and the regs are out now. You do know that, right? You saw that.
There's been a lot of changes in the regulations too. Like, so anybody watching or whatever, look over the new regs.
Yeah, for sure.
They've changed a lot of stuff.
And that's all part and parcel of that omnibus Agenda 21 stuff that's coming through the UN to land grab and close off land corridors and open access to hunting and stuff. And it's dangerous, because it involves, people with guns.
Yeah.
Right? In the wrong spot at the wrong time, and accidents happen.
Yeah, well,
and turkey season's coming up too. And the one thing that I wanted to stress is, and you and I have both done it. Dad would never let us walk out of the house unless we were flashing orange somewhere on our body. And because of the season for turkey, archery, and shotgun crossover, I want to remind everybody, it's cool to look cool, but it's better to be safe. Please wear your blaze orange during the crossover season.
Well, it's not so much the crossover season. The main thing that I think that people have to remember is, things that drive you crazy about what happens sometimes in the bush. Trespassing. Oops. Yeah. Sorry, man. Took you for a ride. Especially in turkey season when you're like full camo. Yeah. Like, you don't know who's in there. Everybody's in camo. Turkeys see color. So, and then when you don't have to do it anymore, but there was a turkey course, right? Mm-hmm. And most of it was just common sense stuff. But one thing I always remembered was, red, white, and blue, no, right? Yeah. Colors of a turkey's head. And if you happen to get somebody sight shooting instead of fully identifying their target, and you're sitting there waving a red handkerchief or wiping your face or whatever, it's just like common sense, right? Yeah.
No, and it is, to get outdoors for hunting too, for archery anyways, until they change that law, is simply going and getting your hunter safety course and purchasing a crossbow or a compound bow.
Yeah, so you take the hunter safety course or the hunter safety course, and that allows you to buy your licenses and you're good. I don't think they've classified it as a firearm yet. I know they were talking about trying to lump everything together, but
that's another omnibus bill. They're coming for our guns, Wyatt.
Yeah, well, I'll worry about that when the time comes. For now,
I know, me too.
Enjoy what we can do right now, right?
And I like the new movement that's out there that I've seen lately, and and I think I've touched on it in previous episodes and podcasts. I'm just eating jelly beans here. It's my vice. But is this trash picking up thing? I love
Hey,
it.
Matthias. Yeah.
You know, we would pick up garbage on our way in and out if we saw it.
To this day. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's important that people who litter are shunned publicly. Like literally make a big scene.
Well, you know,
I really hate
one of
people
the
that
big,
litter. It's
one of
just
the big contentions around these rural towns like I live in, and I've lived here now for it's got to be 20 years. You know, is we get a lot of, and I don't want to lump everybody together,
no
but we get a lot of people that come from, you know, the city,
other areas in the world,
right?
Yep.
And the trout opener is here, and it's elbow to elbow. And when
Yep.
that mass of people leave,
Yeah.
and the locals are still kicking around, I'm not saying that there aren't locals that don't litter. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But when you have that mad influx of people, you know, leave only your footprints.
Yeah,
like,
man.
Pick your
Take
friggin'
pictures.
fishing line up.
Take
like
your
even,
fish
when I'm
that
fishing
that
anywhere,
you know,
like even my old row bags, you see them the little
Yeah,
netting
yeah.
all over the place.
Yeah.
What would it cost you to stick that in your pocket? That's what I do.
The effort, right?
You're
That's
out
all.
fishing anyway. You're covered in fish, whatever anyway, or row bag juice or.
Shit, Mom used to hate washing our clothes, eh?
Dude, pocket full of worms, right? So what's the difference? What's the difference between doing that
Yeah.
and taking that piece of netting and sticking it in your
Exactly.
pocket,
Yeah.
right?
Because yeah, sure you can say, well, nature will take care of itself and a bird will pick it up and turn it into part of its nest. But you know, if it wasn't there in the first place, it wouldn't be in the fucking bird's nest in the second place.
Exactly. You know, and I just it drives me bonkers, and it even more so when you get into, you know, like up north, you know, when you haven't seen a building in 4 hours,
Yeah.
you know, you're in the bush, and then you
But
turn
you
around
see
the
a bunch
corner,
of garbage.
there's a pile of garbage there. Like,
What the fuck? Yeah.
that used to drive me crazy because, you know, you take this coffee cup, just for an example, right? And I'm not like product placing or anything, but you take that coffee cup and you carried that fucking thing into the woods. How much did it weigh? Half a pound or whatever?
Yeah.
What does it weigh when it's empty?
Yeah.
Nothing. Put it in your fucking backpack and take it with you.
Yeah, right? Man.
Like, how hard is that shit? You just drank the pop out of that can, squish it down flat, and put it back in your backpack.
Yeah, like, geez. So simple, right? It's the effort. It's the effort and the care. And we're going on a rant, but that's okay.
Yeah,
so,
no, I started to get a little heated.
Tubby Guy, that's okay. I like it, though, because I've always said that I wanted to bring, you know, the real shit that's in the outdoors, that the uncomfortable shit that people don't want to talk about. Well, we're talking about it. Because it's real. It
shouldn't be uncomfortable, though, right? It should just be a topic.
Yeah.
Everybody knows it happens.
Yeah.
Right.
And the more we talk about it, the more that can be done about it. And we're starting to see that with that new hashtag, that trash hashtag.
Yep.
So, and I think it's important. I'm going to be joining up with some people here in the community shortly, and I'm going to be doing my own trash pickup. So
nice.
And I think I've said it on a podcast earlier. If we don't show them we care, they won't care, and they'll still take it away from us.
Yep. And it all goes back to, we have to get rid of that frame of mind that, well, it's not my garbage.
Exactly. And
right?
that's starting. It's just starting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So,
That it's not my job, but I'll do it anyway, is the
well,
attitude we need to
that's
have.
where we need to get to, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I mean, I know, like, I've been doing it for years. I know you do it. You're walking along, you're walking along the stream or whatever, and there's a cigarette pack or a pop can so you step on it and you throw it away from the water on your way out. You scoop it up, you throw it in the back of the truck, and you take it with you, right?
Yep.
I mean, that's what you do. That's what we should all do.
Yeah.
And everybody, and then you get that other mindset that, I mean, it's human nature. Don't get me wrong. And I think we've all been guilty of it at one time or another, just because for whatever reason you decided not to that day. But, and it doesn't matter. I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. And will we ever be? Of course not.
No.
But it's the journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You can make a difference.
Yeah, you can.
Right?
Yep.
People say, well, it's not going to make a difference. But if I said, you know what, I can make a difference. And then the guy that's with me sees me doing that, and he goes, "The fuck you doing?" "Oh, I'm just cleaning up, man. I'm just picking up trash."
Making a
Right?
difference.
He starts doing it. Yep. All of a sudden, combined, we don't have to look at the trash anymore.
Exactly. Yeah.
Instead of just stepping over it and going on our merry way, right?
Yeah.
So band together, do your part.
Yeah.
Make things happen, right?
It's a really good feeling. It's almost sticking it to the man, but not the man, but the man who left the garbage. Sticking it to that guy, saying, "There, I picked up your garbage because you were too lazy."
Yeah, exactly.
You
Another thing that I've told people in the past, and I used to do it when the kids were little. In the spring, right now, it's happening right now. All the side roads where the snowmobilers and whatnot have been, and don't get me wrong, I'm not just hacking on snowmobilers here, but
no.
All of the ditches on all of the rural roads, everything's starting to thaw, right?
Yeah.
When the girls were little, we used to jump in the pickup. We used to throw a couple of recycle bins in the back of the truck, and we would drive the old side roads and stuff, right? Now the banks are all melted and gone, right? Or going to be shortly. And pick up the pop cans, beer bottles, right? Pick all that stuff up. And then we had a recycle bin for like the plastic bottles and stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So then the girls, we would separate it all. Yeah. The pop cans went to the recyclers.
Yeah.
Right? It's clean aluminum.
Yeah, man.
Right? And the beer bottles and beer cans and all that other stuff that you really don't want to be finding on the shoulder of the road anyway, but always do.
Yeah.
That goes over to the liquor store. And, the girls would make 30 or 40 bucks in cans, beer bottles, right? So they would split it up and get ice cream or whatever they wanted. So they were cleaning up. They were kind of doing their part. They were making a little bit of money and having fun doing it, right? Mm-hmm. And we used to, it got to the point where when they were little, they'd be asked like, "Dad, when are we going to go, when are we going to go out again and look for beer cans?" Right? Yeah. Yeah. So you start like that with the, with the young ones.
We still do that. Me and my boy, Ty and I, we call it cha-ching.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, Dad, you want to go look for some cha-ching after we're done fishing? I'm like, you betcha, buddy.
It started with me and my dad when I was like, I don't even think I was old enough to carry yet.
Yeah.
And we had gone way up north of Elliott Lake. We were bird hunting, and we'd gone way in the hell in. Like, I mean, we were way back. And
up past the little light.
Like way up, like past. I'm trying to remember. Like, I could throw these names out, but it wouldn't really mean much unless you've been there.
Yeah.
But we were deep, right? We were back there, and we hadn't seen a bird all day. So as a joke, I went, beer bottle. So Dad hit the brakes and we picked it up. We turned around where we turned around and we worked our way all the way back out to Port of Lance Lake and all the way back out, you know. And I think that day we found it was something ridiculous, like 56 beer bottles. And I mean, nobody had ever done it before, right? So I think we found like 56 beer bottles and like something like 97 beer cans, right? Just driving the old logging roads, right?
Yep.
And that's kind of where it started for me. And then when my kids were little, I was like, hey guys, let's go do this. And it became a thing every year. It became an annual thing, right?
Yeah. Well, I've always said there's $1 million outside your door.
Mm-hmm.
All you got to do is go get it.
Yeah. And it's not even it was more about, you know, the girls wanted to do something to help.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it was kind of a really good lesson about work and reward.
That's right. A little bit of work ethic and a little bit of reward. Yep.
They did a good thing. They helped clean up. You know, they helped clean up trash and everything else.
Yeah.
And they got a little bit of a reward for it. Right?
I saw this GoFundMe meme. It said GoFundMe, and it had this little kid, and he could just say, push the lawnmower. It said 1989, and I sent that to Daryl, and I was like, buddy, we were balling in '89 on a GoFundMe. Oh yeah. Cutting lawn in '89. That's $10 an hour.
Yep. You know, that's what we'd like. I mean, when I was, 16 or whatever, and 17, and starting to, purchase my own.
Well, I remember when you made your first big purchase. Remember when you bought your first big gun?
Yeah, my rifle. Yep.
Yep.
Still have it. Still use it every season.
Yeah, and you were just tickled pink to have saved up enough for
it. Yeah. Well,
Hi, Jade.
I worked my ass off all summer at a summer job, right? And I remember exactly how it went down. Dad, I was working on the Hey, Stuart. I was working on the Manitoulin Island. I was there all summer, right? I had put all my money in the bank, and I got home to Elliott Lake, and we went to Sarich Sporting Goods.
Yep.
Right? Remember Sarich Sporting Goods? I don't know if they're still there or not, but
they're there.
If they are, shout out to Sarich. I walked in with Dad, and it was $675 for the rifle. That was brand new, you know what I mean? 7,600 pump, right?
Yeah.
And I paid with, cash I had earned, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I walked up, and he says, can I get you? I said, well, aren't you going to throw in a box of shells or something? And he said, he looked at Dad, and Dad started to laugh. And he said, hey, the kid's got you. He's spending quite a bit of money here. Right? So he ended up throwing in 2 boxes of shells.
Good man.
We laughed. Yeah, it was good. And then we went down the street to the bank, and I handed Dad insurance money for the truck.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I think it was like $725 for the year or something. Right?
Yeah.
But what do you do, right?
Yeah.
And then we went down from there. We went out to lunch, and I can't remember where we went, but I bought Mom and Dad lunch, and the bill came, and the girl put the bill down, and I grabbed it, and I looked at Dad kind of funny, and he said, do you not have enough? And I went, well, I've got enough for the meal, but I can't leave a tip. And Dad said, well, I'll leave a tip, right? But just saying, like, I saved up all summer. Yeah. I bought my rifle. I bought my, I paid for my insurance and bought my parents lunch, right?
Yeah.
But it kind of goes back to what we were saying before was Hey, hi, Auntie Irene. It kind of goes back to what we were saying before was that gun has been an investment,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So it cost me
Exactly.
that much back then, but I've owned that gun since I was 16 years old.
Yep.
Killed a deer with it last fall, right?
Yep. Yep.
So you can work towards those things, right?
Yeah.
And but my shotgun,
New and fancy doesn't necessarily mean better.
yeah, exactly. The what matters is function, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Does it
If
function?
it does the job, can it do the job that you need it to do? Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
Hi,
look at
Shannon.
this, eh? Holy cow, all I need is my side of the family on here.
Yeah, yeah.
Stu's on here, Nick's here, Kim's here, Jade's here. Holy moly.
Yeah.
Tell
My
me,
Aunt Irene was
Tubby
there.
Guy Outdoors in the house.
Rapping hard.
Yeah. That's awesome. So we're gonna get out together and work together, and I think what the best plan of attack is just go out and do what we always do: make outdoor magic happen.
Baby, what we're gonna do is you're gonna get to my place, and I'm gonna take you to a lake that's got bass, like that in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's got a little bit of everything, right?
Yeah.
But I know you love your bass fishing.
Oh, I do, buddy.
I know you do. And bass fishing is not something I did a lot of, right?
No, you liked your trout. You did. You were all about the trout, and I was telling you, I was trying to get you. No, man, the bass.
Hi, Uncle Phil.
Yeah. Oh man. But
so we're gonna get you out. We're gonna get you. We're gonna try to put you on some monster bass. There's also some other species in that lake that you never know what you're gonna get, man. It's got panfish and trout and bass.
That's perfect because I think a lot of people they're like, well, what do I have to catch? Well, just catch something. Catch a good time. Catch a good time first.
That's it, right?
You know, but
a bad day in the bush is better than a great day at work or on the couch.
Buddy, some of our best days have been blowouts.
Yeah,
tracking all friggin' day for nothing and still come home with a smile on her face, man. Like
because you were out there doing it, right?
Yeah.
And that's that was one thing that my dad always said, in different words, but killing and catching is a byproduct.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up.
The whole idea is the camaraderie, the time spent with friends and family, or even if you're by yourself, the decompression, the escape, the mental cleansing sort of thing.
Self-reflection.
It's always way more fun when you're out there with a good friend or whatever, or family. But at the same time, none of our trips in the outdoors, either fishing, hunting, camping, were ever a bad trip because we didn't catch something or kill something.
That's true.
Catching something or harvesting an animal was a bonus.
Yeah.
Right?
Always a bonus.
It was just getting out to the camp or getting out to the lake or getting out to the woods or whatever you were doing.
Fuck, we used to feel free, eh?
Dude,
as soon as we couldn't see the city and there was no power lines or nothing, we were free.
Are we allowed a little bit of nudity on this channel?
I don't know. It's 9 o'clock. What's that?
Can you see this?
Oh God, I'm afraid. Is that me?
Do you remember
You
the
son of a bitch? Look at that beach body, eh, buddy?
Cinder Lake? Do you remember?
Oh,
We
I
spent
know.
the weekend camping at
Oh
Cinder Lake.
my God.
We caught
Yep.
that one stinking bass that we saw swim by the canoe. Do you remember? And I casted to it. It was like boink, and it was the only fish we caught all weekend.
And that's all we had to eat.
Right? Dad dropped us off. What was it, on Friday night? Yeah. We fished all day. I think he picked us up Sunday morning. Right? We set up you can't see the tent. The tent was like kind of would have been to your left. Yeah. My right, taking the picture, right? It
rained too that fucking weekend, didn't it?
It poured rain on Sunday or Saturday night. Right? So, hi, Alicia. But that's the thing, was the fish weren't biting. I mean, it's sunny in that picture, but the weather wasn't the greatest. but here we are goofing around. Yeah. Oh God, Jesus. Loving life, having fun. I can't believe
you. You know what? That's it. I'm gonna call a private meeting with all my high school friends that have ever taken a picture. I want them all back.
Yeah, no kidding, eh?
There's some choice ones floating around there. Holy shit, you pulled that one out of the
I have a couple of more, and I couldn't find them. I was gonna throw them at you. I got one more of Dad, but you're talking about the money aspect or whatever. We put this addition on this camp. I don't know what Dad and Uncle Al paid for it. None of my concern. Mm-hmm. But I know they went together on it, so we could have a place to hunt moose and fish speckled trout and everything else. And I just remember Dad sitting on that little deck. Yep. Right. And we'd be sitting there in the evening listening to the wolves and the loons. And, you looked at Dad, even at a young age, I can remember, you looked at Dad and went like, look how happy he is. Yeah. Without saying I'm so fucking happy. You know what I mean? Right? You could just see it on his face. Right?
Yeah, and even his stone cold expression, if you knew your dad, you knew he was happy. Inside, behind all that, he was a happy man at that moment. Oh yeah. Because he had what he wanted. He had his family there, and he had the outdoors. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that's all he needed, right? Like family
and you know what? I think that's part of the reason why that I do this is because that's what I learned growing up is all you need is the family and the outdoors.
I have a lifetime of memories with my dad, and all of them good. Yeah, of course, when I was a young buck, we as father and son do, right? We clashed. There's no doubt about it. Yeah. But
excuse me.
All of our memories, come back to some kind of outdoor activity.
Yeah. Yeah.
All of my memories, or it was, helping family.
All my good ones, anyways.
Well, yeah, but I don't have a lot of bad memories about my dad. No. I have nothing. My dad, my Uncle Orville, my cousin Wayne, my Uncle Phil. Love you, Uncle Phil. I didn't have a bad upbringing. You know what I mean? No. If I turned out, I don't think I did, but if I turned out to be an asshole, that's on me. Yeah. My mom's amazing. My dad was awesome. Uncle Orville was, Uncle Orville was a straight shooter, same as Uncle Phil. Straight shooter, kick you in the ass when you needed it, right? Yep.
I think you've done a service to your dad and uncle in the outdoors, and that you've respected the conservation that they set forth before you to walk in, and you've done that, and you've passed it on to the next generation through your own kids. And I think that's all we can do. We are stewards. We're meant to take care of that big fucking garden. That's our job.
Well, if we don't do it, who will? And, you know, real outdoors people, real sportsmen, we are the biggest conservation effort in the world.
Yes.
All the money we spend on tags and everything else goes back into protecting that stuff. You know, it drives me crazy when they say, you see a post somewhere and it says, hunter kills whatever out of season or whatever. That guy wasn't a hunter. He wasn't a sportsman. He was a poacher straight up.
Yeah.
Right. And you don't lump sportsmen and hunters and fisher people in with poaching people. If the guy poached a deer, call him a poacher.
Period.
He wasn't a hunter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I like to, you know, I tried to introduce the outdoors to as many people as I could. You know, I still do. I still take, you know, friends, kids out, you know, fishing or whatever.
Yeah.
I still, you know, anybody that wants to talk about the subject, you know me.
Yeah.
I
love talking about the F word.
I can't physically run out of words. You can't shut me up, right?
No.
So, hey, Will. Yeah, so I just think, you know, I hope at the end of the day, and that's kind of where I want to go with that YouTube channel. A part of it anyway is, like we talked about, get out there and enjoy it. You don't need to spend a bunch of money.
Nope.
Take as many people as you can with you, especially young people. That's our future in so many ways, right? It's not just, you know, our future doctors and lawyers, but it's our future conservationists and outdoor enthusiasts, and right. And if you don't show these kids how wonderful a time and how great it can be,
they're just gonna plug them in to a game, into a video game, and that's how they're gonna get their outdoors. And we don't want that.
No,
because it's not the same.
You know,
I could never ever think an assimilated scenario could give me the same satisfaction as the real life. You know, like when I caught my first rainbow trout on Moline Lake, it was just off Spirit Island. And if anybody knows the story of Spirit Island,
neither do I, Corey. Sorry, go ahead.
How you doing, guys? It's where I can't remember her name. Anyways, they camped on this island with the Indians and everything, and it was just off that island that I caught my one and only rainbow trout, and it was gorgeous. And right behind me, this massive wall of mountain range, right? And you know, you feel really small at that moment.
Yeah.
When that happens, and you're like, I have to do everything in my power to make sure nobody hurts this.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, I got a battery warning. Look, this thing is heating up. I only eat halibut as well. It's gold. That is delicious. I had some out west. We'll talk more about it. But until then, this is Ben from Be More Outdoors with my field staff, Wyatt Folz from Tubby Guy Outdoors. And you're going to see a lot more of the two of us together this year. Wyatt, if you have any thank yous and shout outs, you have the floor. Go ahead.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, first I gotta thank Kim and Jade for helping me and putting up with me trying to get this YouTube thing going. And, you know, I want to thank everybody that, you know, my friends and family that have already checked out the video or whatever. You know, I'm not trying to get rich. This is not a get rich scheme, but, you know, the more people that see it, the better, in my opinion. Yeah. And, you know, give me a chance. I'm going to get it out there. So shout outs. Geez, I don't know. There's so many, you know, shout out to you for kicking me in the butt a little bit to do this. You know, shout out to my dad, Uncle Orville, Wayne, Uncle Phil, the guys that helped mold me into who I
Our
am and
old CO officers growing up.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah.
So, and just a big thanks to everybody that checks it out, and hopefully hopefully I do everything justice. How's that, right?
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited, and it's been a while, and we live pretty much a stone throw away from each other, and for us to put the mojo back together, man, it'll be like grease lightning all over again, buddy.
Oh, dude,
Look
yeah,
out!
no, we're gonna make that happen, brother. We're gonna make that happen, and we're gonna have fun doing it.
Yeah. We man, if we had, like I said, if we had GoPros and cameras on us back then, we would have had our own TV show a long time ago. Oh,
Yeah.
oh my goodness. Well, Kim, thanks for moderating. You're an asset. I love you. Nick, thanks for showing up, and the rest of Wyatt's family for sure, and friends. My viewers, his viewers, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. This has been Wild Wednesday. We'll see you all next week.